Jones of Tennessee and Kevin Sumlin, Texas A&M on the hot seat. They're the two guys that come to mind first and foremost, even though they've kind of approached the hot seat from different angles. Kevin Sumlin hits the scene. He's the Sheik guy. He's got Johnny Manziel. He has 2 successful seasons, and now he's hit a rut despite all that Texas talent he's brought in. For Butch Jones, takes over a program under 500, and he builds it, brings in 3 straight top 15 recruiting classes, and maybe they missed their window last year because Josh Dobbs, the 2 backs, and everything that they had brought together, but he loses so much talent. Who's truly on the hot seat, and what do you think those guys need to do to stay where they are?
I mean, I think, the hot seat, whoever knows, because what happens in football, and a lot of people don't know it, you and I have been lucky enough to have been around it enough to where we kind of understand how the sausage is made, because when we talk about it, wins and losses obviously very important, but it also is what's the buyout situation, and how cash rich or cash poor the school is. I mean, a lot of people felt like that was why Les Miles wasn't let go the year prior, is because LSU had a funding issue and they weren't about to go pay some $20 million buyout when all of a sudden they're laying off faculty, 2 doors over, right? So, and it depends on who the boosters really like. I would tell you this. I think Kevin Sumlin needs to have a bigger year than Butch Jones. I mean, Butch Jones, back-to-back 9-win seasons. He's kind of revitalized what Tennessee football has become, just in the fact that people care about Tennessee football, right? Like a couple years ago, nobody was like, there's just an afterthought. Well, guess what? It's much better to be people hyped up about it and be upset that you only won 9 games 2 years in a row, rather than just completely, completely hosing the whole program. So he's got that place in a better spot. For Butch Jones, he has to relate more. And what I mean by that is it can't just be the brick by brick and champions of life and all these like computer phrases that he uses. And I told him that not too long ago. I was like, you're just be a guy. Like, Vol fans want to pull for you. They want to pull for the team. Like, you're just a dude, like off the camera you are. Like, we don't need this coach CEO speak. Just be real with us. And I think he kind of took that to heart, and he was different at media days. And I'm curious if that carries over. For Sumlin, they're just in the world of hurt. The schedule's hard. The game out of the gates, they got to go at UCLA, which should be interesting because Josh Rosen's a good quarterback over there. So it might be between Sumlin and Moore. Both of those guys are a little bit on the hot seat. That's going to be an incredible opening weekend, because it might just be a loser may not, be living in the same town anymore. But I think A&M has a much harder road to get to 9 wins than Tennessee does.
Peter, you may have found a next profession. Once you get done broadcasting, you can be the guy that embattled coaches go to see to spring some life and find some direction.
But am I right? I mean, I feel like
yeah.
Feel like we all pull. I mean, that's the deal. Is I work for the SEC Network, so we're all pulling for these coaches because we get a chance to know them, and we want every team to go 14-0 in the SEC, right? I mean, that's.
Is that possible? I'm going to figure that out. I'll get back to you.
I'm not very good at math, but we want it to happen to a certain extent. So, and we kind of talk to these coaches and get to know them. Just be like, here's the feedback we get. And some of the coaches really appreciate that, and they kind of take it to heart, and some don't. And some of the guys that don't, we no longer cover on the network because they're no longer employed for whatever that means. So it is what it is.
Good stuff. Peter Burns, SEC Network. You know where to find him right there. Been doing a lot of Paul Feinbaum's gig there as well at the SEC Network. And you got to let us know about your new podcast.
Yeah, it's with the old Championship Drive. So if you're ESPN, go on the ESPN app, download it. It used to be called Championship Drive. Ivan Maisel, Mark Schlabach, all the big hitters of college football that you've known. So I'm going to be joining the cast this year. It's going to be called Campus Conversation. So starting August 8th, we put out 3 or 4 different podcasts a week. And then starting August 26th, we go daily. And it's not just SEC. It's everything related to college football. So we're looking forward to it. A lot of different voices. And I'm sure I'll upset some people on that thing over the course of the year. So,
well, you're going to upset some Big Ten fans if you keep talking about the Big Ten like you have in the past.
I always like Ohio State because they've got skins on the wall. I like Penn State this year. I just don't. I'm sold on Florida beating Michigan earlier this year, and I'm absolutely 100% without a doubt. I think Georgia completely destroys Notre Dame in week 2 up in I was going to say up in Notre Dame. So South Bend will be awesome.
Yeah, unless the Irish have miraculously found a defense in the last 6 months. Yeah, that would not.
And running backs and offensive line and and a coach. Yeah, that's it too.
All right, and let me get this straight before I let you go, Peter. You get together with guys like Herb Street and Heward for like 2 or 3 days and talk nothing but football, and we call that a job? Do we call that work?
I literally, it was so funny you say that. I got out of one of my meetings. We have these like breakouts, and we're in because I do studio work, so it's a bunch of us like Kevin Nagandi, Adnan Burke, and I'm sitting there in a meeting, and to my left is Mac Brown, across from me is Chip Kelly. And I just turned at one point. I'm like, "What in the hell am I doing in this room?" Like I'm like afraid to even say anything because I'm like, "This is actually really cool." So I'd never try to take that for granted and stay in the moment. And I'm going to enjoy this ride as long as I can because it's a lot of fun.
So, Peter, with all seriousness, I know what you just said about kind of coaching the coaches, but it definitely applies here. You can talk it at the highest level, and you do a fantastic job, but you're a regular guy, and come on with us and just kick around college football. It's good stuff.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Peter.
Talk to you soon, all right?
Yeah, play with the dogs and have a good time and kick back and enjoy the night.
You got it. Peyton and Saban say goodbye as well.